Morning. Not sure whether I'm going to paint today or this morning. Fabiana, £130 weight, cold pressed, 15 inches by 11. The usual Ron Ransom palette, the lemon yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey and burnt sienna. I've given it a spray with water just to soften. I haven't used the watercolours for a few days. I did those couple of acrylics, 2 or 3 acrylics, which I was going to do now, but I don't feel like it. It's Christmas week, it's a dull, dreary day outside, drizzling a little bit. So we'll make something up, my brush wasn't very clean, didn't put it away very clean when I last used it. So we're going to knock it up anyway, aren't we? Put a load of mud on it. So that's the basic wet in wet wash. I'll take a little bit of that water off, it's just a little bit too wet. Don't want it running down the page. You need plenty of cloth when you do this to keep your brushes dryish. Okay, that'll do. So we'll put in a bit of a wash of sienna, raw sienna. Let's keep it fairly, bit of alizarin in there as well. Maybe we'll have some rocks and stuff in this. Alright, clean the brush and we'll put in a bit of a ultramarine and light red, nice cloudy. So just softening the paints with a bit of water, it just gives it a bit of a lubrication, and as if we're painting straight out of the tube, which is good. So we'll put some water in, that's the reflection of it. Okay, I'll just clean the brush, and as that dries off a little bit, I'll just clean the bottom off, stop it running back up the page and causing a bit of a cauliflower. That's nice stretch paper. That's gone a little bit awry there, but then that's okay. We won't touch it when it's like that, because we'll make things worse. So let's put in a bit of background. Same colours. Get warmer in there. Oh dear. Bit of Payne's grey mixed in with a bit of the burnt sienna. I love burnt sienna, it's my sort of favourite colour. Let me get that nice and rich. Right, that's all reflections coming down there. I'm going to have to fill that gap with some trees later on, so let's just. So we're just sort of making up some reflections as we go along, and as the paint dries, the paper dries a little bit, we can put some heavier washes on. But once in the state, you can sort of do a lot with it. here. She's very much on the hoof. Got some nice warm colours in the foreground, and we can etch out some rocks from this. All the way down in there. Okay, so that's the basis of our wet in wet. When that dries a bit, I'll go over that. Right, so keep the paper nice and flat. See, you don't need to stretch your paper. You can just keep reclipping it, and it'll stay flat. Even this fairly lightweight paper. I thank Stephen Cronin for this, because he put me onto the Fabriano when I first went back into watercolour about 4 years ago. I was doing mostly oil paintings for a gallery, but watercolour seems to be so popular because the initial outlay is quite low compared to all the paraphernalia with oil paints. And the brushes last forever. But the method that I use is the Ron Ranson big brush watercolour. I've always used it ever since I bought his books years ago, many years ago now. Right, let's just put in a bit of pebbly, beachy. You can overdo it if you want. And this is why I put the warm colours in the foreground, and it's so effective. That's it. But you of course you can overdo it. You can do too much of it. But I'll show some as you're going back into the distance, just some pebbly, rough foreground, or the edge of the sort of beach. Okay, that'll do. We don't want to do too much. Right, it's still very wet. There's a bit of rye there, but never mind. Let's just lift out some trees and just bring these reflections down. You get, by the side of the water, you get those bleached tree trunks. So I'll just show you a bit of reflection. Right, I just want to do something on that distant headland. So a bit of blue, a bit of red. Sort of trees. Just using the corner of the hake for this. Keep it nice and flat. For those that you don't know, Ron Ranson died last week. He was coming up to 92. I got a lovely comment from his daughter, Diana, from Oregon, which was very, very nice. Never spoken or communicated before, but I think Mike Porter, who made some film on in the latter days, painting. Excuse me, coughing. Who hasn't got a cough and cold this time of year, just before Christmas? I'll just put some more slopes in here. Just a bit of detail, nothing much really. Want to stiffen up that there, so that's just a little bit. Put a bit of green in. So it's a bit of nice, bit of lemon yellow, bit of sienna, and a bit of Payne's grey. Yeah, Ron Ransom designed this sort of method of big brush watercolour with the hake to stop fiddling around, fussing, poking, prodding paintings to death by using tiny brushes. Just drag that reflection down there a bit. Okay, I'm quite enjoying that. I'm going to put a bit of an island there, I think, because it's a bit bare that side. All the weight is on the left hand side at the moment, but I'll put a couple of little boats in and things. Right, so I want blue though. I want that to still lay back in the landscape, blue and red. When your hake splits, as it does, this is a big problem with hakes, just sort of touch them in a bit of water and just get a bit of reflection coming down there. Okay, we'll let that dry a little bit. A bit more dark in there, I think. Dark blue, red. We're warming up a little bit. Okay. Right, I think we need that. If I need something on the top of that ridge, let's put in something. Bluey green. Blue and yellow. I think my hake has got just a bit too much water on. But I want this colour to be on the cool side. A little bit better. Okay, that's something, isn't it? I'm really just making this up as I'm going along. Right. So that is quite pleasant. distinct there. So we just lift that a little bit, maybe put a couple more little rocks. Right, a little bit of work with the rigger, I think. Right, warm colours in the foreground. So my favourite, sienna, bit of Payne's grey. Just a bit of texture in here. Not too much, I don't want to overdo it. Just some grasses. That's just a way of showing that is wetter than wet by doing reflections in it. Some ripples. So, making things up as you go along. Just a few ripples. Okay, we can put in a little bit of do some boats in a minute. Okay, that'll do for that. Right, now, blue and big Payne's grey, my little 1/2 inch brush. Don't know why that brush is splitting. Maybe I've not cleaned it from the acrylic. Just put a little bit of reflection in there. I'll put a little figure in there, I think, while I think of it. Change the colour. And with the inch brush, we'll get nice and damp, and then into the mix. Lovely chisel edge on that. We'll and then a bit stronger. Alright, that's the reflection on that. Okay. What I'll do on there, I'll dry that and then I'll lift out some yachts. But I want to do a little man somewhere over there. quite a lot of room there really. Oh, that's pretty mere. Okay, just for a little bit of reflection there. Right, I'm just going to dry off that other side, so bear with me. Mute your sound now. Right, now with my damp half-inch brush and a bit of tissue paper, you can lift out some flicks of interest. Right, let's put in some. Now you can tell I'm a landlubber, can't you? I've got a clue about boats because I live around them. Can't say I like that very much. Bit obvious, isn't it? Put a bit of a darker hull, maybe. Slightly blue. Put the blue back. Right, I'll let that go. I can't do much more to it. Straighten up a bit. Right, well that'll do. We can put a little bit of a boathouse in. Just some interest on that side. Right, I'll put a bird in. So we've got bits and pieces that are sort of floating around that landscape. Let's draw your attention to that bit there. Okay, sign it. Then I'll put it in the mount. Let's see what it looks like. Oops. On that one. What's left of it? Oh, there we are, so not too bad. So just a little one before Christmas. I saw a couple of days ago. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let's bring you round and you can have a little look at this little coastal scene. Alright, thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.